Hello all, welcome to Hockey on Tap podcast. This is episode 73, A COVID Christmas. I'm your host, Bill D, and I'm here, of course, with my two co-hosts, little Steven Schwim. Also, the baby is here, ready to wreak havoc on my computer.
Hello,
Melvin's
baby.
back there.
Yep. We are brought to you by Primetime Radio, courtesy of Sam Wu, and you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Apple, and Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please leave us a 5-star review if you would be so kind. Boys, what are we drinking?
I have a Snag and Drop
Something. Cape May.
from Cape
I
May
season.
Brewing. Yeah.
Season.
Brewed on 10/20/20. So 1 year
Okay.
later, I'm going to try this 10% triple IPA
Not
that
bad.
I remember being very good. So let's see if it's still very good. It should be, but figured I'd let it sit for a year before having it, and no time like the present, I
No
suppose.
time like the present.
You guys see Melvin? He's one
Yep.
of my appliances.
He's
Yep, I see
blending
him
in.
the back behind the coffee. Right?
It almost doesn't. It just looks. I don't know. It doesn't even look like.
It looks like a
'cause he's so
stamp
still.
on the wall.
It
It's like a
looks like
stamp, one of those
yeah,
fat
just look
heads.
like a. Is he
Fat
facing
head.
towards us or away from us? I can't even tell.
He's looking at the fridge right now. Psst. Now he's looking.
All right.
No.
Okay.
It just looks like a cat poster or something. I can kind of see his eyes.
Yeah. Now you can kind of
Yeah.
see his eyes. When he was turned the other way, you couldn't tell.
Sarah.
Anywho, I
No,
am
it's your
drinking a Stillwater. It's
Hmm.
called New Sensation. It's a double dry hopped IPA.
Nice. I like it.
It's pretty, I don't know, pretty run of the mill, but it's actually pretty good. It's made with European
classic.
malts.
I tell you, having a kid in podcasting is not exactly easy by any regard.
But she's loving
Not
it.
bad.
What are you drinking?
Yeah, no, she's enjoying it. She's trying to come over here and just rip. She's actually trying to get the beer opener, the metal beer opener, and she thinks that's
She's trying to take out your internet again.
Yeah, pretty much. She keeps hitting the thing, and I keep hearing doo doo, and I'm like, am I going to lose connection at any second? And you guys are just going to talk. But yeah,
About you.
So yeah, about me. So I got two beers. I'm going to go one and then the other. We'll see how it goes. This is Petra. My sister-in-law got it from Petra, which is obviously in Jordan. And
I thought
she
you
brought
had
it
that
over.
already.
Obviously.
Nope, haven't had this one yet.
right.
This one bottled in Jordan by General Investment Co. It's a oh my god, kid. It is a lager, and she poured over my other beer. This is just fantastic. There's just a comedy of errors over here, and she won't let me have the paper. Thank you. Petra. It's a 10% alcohol by volume, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's
how
mine
that
too.
Damn,
goes.
everybody's doing 10% but me. All right. I see how it is.
Apparently.
is mine?
But it's pretty cool. It's got the picture of Petra on it, which I've always wanted to see. So thank you, Alicia.
And you
The
broke your
second
streak
beer-
of lactose beers. Oh, I bet this one has lactose.
I was gonna say,
It probably does.
don't hold those horses, big guy. So this is by Drecker, mango
That's
and
definitely
cherry
lactose.
grains, double fruit smoothie sour, and it's got pale two-row wheat
Double
carafone
lactose.
sour malt, magnum hops, lactobacillus culture, house ale yeast, and then gimmicks: mango, more mango, cherry, more cherry, sea salt, vanilla bean, and lactose.
The L word.
So I'm getting in all of the lactards before Veganuary starts, so that I can show my buddy Steven that I am true to his cause.
You're
Yeah.
a lactard.
And Shroom too?
I'm doing it too.
Shrimp too. Tom, please. Bill, he says, Billy, I'm available to babysit for future pods. Absolutely, he can sit in the playpen over there. Which
I'd like to just see like Tommy with like a cup of coffee in the background playing Sarah.
It would be pretty
Just
fantastic.
hangs out there the entire.
I'd get a cam and I just put it here so you could just watch me pod and then the two of them play in the little carrying thing. And she picked up the Petra cap, so I'm gonna have to save that. not have her
Tommy's
spit
only
in her
like
mouth.
6 inches taller than her anyway, so.
Speaking of knocking things
Schwim-
down, hey, you guys watch this. Look at this.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh, my
It's
thing is in the way.
Taking off
there it
Christmas
goes.
cards? Oh, I see a
He's about
Dean
to
family
kick off
Christmas
yours.
card.
Yeah,
Now
he's
I see
aiming for yours right now.
I see the Dean Christmas card.
We have
Very
unruly
nice.
children today.
Yes, we
He's
do.
Tom,
sick
who's
of
gonna
these vegan
babysit
snacks.
Melvin?
Sick of these vegan snacks. Yeah, I want catnip. All right, boys.
Oh, nice,
Let's get to
popcorn.
what's on tap for today's episode. Here's our weekly snapshot. COVID. COVID.
I think he's high. It's just really, he's got the munchies.
I mean, he might be. That's munchies right there. I also got to send
Look
out
at
the link. Man, this just all together, we're shooting 100 right now. My daughter's trying to get the safety pins and the thumbtacks that are on my desk. Probably not a great spot to have babies. But yeah, 11 teams on a COVID Christmas break, and I have the list of teams, which is absolutely crazy. You have just today Blue Jackets, Montreal Canadiens, Edmonton Oilers, and Ottawa Senators shut down due to COVID. They're going to take place after Christmas. So altogether, December 26th, you'll have 11 teams come back, which once again is Columbus, Montreal, Edmonton, Ottawa, Calgary, Detroit, Maple Leafs, Avalanche, Florida Panthers, Predators, and Boston Bruins. Obviously, they shut down cross-border travel, so no in and out of Canada or the U.S. for Canadian-based teams. They're talking about, just playing games against each other for the moment. And I guess it begs the question, do we have an all-Canada division again? Do we just do that again?
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't think they'll do that again.
They can't. How do you change in the middle of the season?
They could do whatever they want.
Like
They're the NHL,
mid-season.
right?
I don't think they will, though.
I mean, in
Sarah.
theory, yeah, but I mean, there's no way they can realign all of the divisions. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got a kid that I keep hearing do and do. Like I'm gonna lose internet, and it's amazing. This kid is just going crazy right now.
You need a baby, Bjorn.
Sarah, stop, please.
Do you think? My question is: does the NHL follow what the NFL has just done?
Well, they pretty much just did, right? They're already postponing games and moving them.
Well, I mean, the NFL does, but the NFL isn't testing anymore asymptomatic players.
Yeah, which I don't know, and a lot of players, including Connor Hellebuck, have said, if this, who cares if a guy has COVID? Just let us play and let us be smart, and if they're symptomatic, then you worry about it, right? And
that's kind of what the NFL is doing. Symptomatic players are, I guess, the ones that are taking. It's kind of like, I guess, kind of like if a player has the flu, they don't play.
Ooh, that's potent.
But asymptomatic, it's a whole mess of asymptomatic because everybody but one player in the NHL is vaccinated. And as far as what I'm hearing about these players,
did you see him getting chirped, by the way, by somebody?
Yeah,
being vaccinated?
Holy Lord, yep. What on earth just happened?
That was really loud.
Yeah, it was.
Was that me?
Yeah,
you were just really loud. Like,
oh, that was probably the baby. She's trying to crawl away and she's yelling at me, but she's not being very cooperative on my lap.
Was it Geertsen, right? Is that his name from the Devils? Was he
Geertsen,
the one that was chirping him? Go get vaccinated, he said.
Go get vaccinated.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, keep talking for a second.
But yeah, I think what's happening is you're getting a lot of asymptomatic players that are testing positive, and that's what's frustrating a lot of the league, that they have to put everything on hold because there's players that are testing positive that have no symptoms. Meanwhile, everyone is vaccinated, so they feel that it's safe enough to play if they're asymptomatic. But if somebody is showing that they're symptomatic, then test them and then quarantine them as you should. Now,
as they should.
Yeah. So do they go in that direction? That's another question. I don't know. I think the NHL has probably taken this. Yeah, I'm still here though. I'm just chasing after Melvin. The NHL has probably taken this a little more seriously than the NFL. Although not saying that the NFL hasn't, but the NHL is definitely a lot more strict with what's going on. but also there's a lot more travel. There's cross-border travel, so they
which
kind
the
of have
NFL doesn't
to.
have any teams.
Yeah, so and teams are traveling.
What's the
1 day of the week.
vaccine
So
rate? Is
not
everybody
required.
vaccinated in the NFL?
No,
yeah,
it's not required.
Yeah, you
They're not
guys like
requiring it at
Antonio
all?
Brown.
So there's probably like hardly anyone.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that and exactly.
I don't know the percentage. I know there were some teams saying that the entire teams were. There were some coaches that were disciplining players who wouldn't in the off season, I believe. So obviously
Arians.
some took it very seriously. Some were just kind of like, do what you want to do. It's more, how do they say, laissez-faire?
Laissez-faire. Yep.
Than the NHL. So, which is it's bizarre why so many, not so many, but more than you would think, players just flat out lied about their status
or fake vaccination
and
cards.
I guess Antonio Brown had to, right? Because
no one did that.
Arians was requiring it, so I guess he had to get his fake vaccine card, right? Anyways, I don't know.
So,
I can't. Going back to your original comment, I can't imagine they realign anything for this. If anything, they'll do like a shutdown, reevaluate the situation. But yeah, I mean, Canada takes this very, very, very seriously, and there is a chance that they shut down, border travel. And then if that happens, I don't know what the league does, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know. 60 players in 4 days total have gotten COVID. There were empty arenas in Montreal, which is big time because, the Canadians make $2.5 million per game. So that gate that they missed, that's big time for a team. So, we'll see what happens.
And all the other Canadian teams, aren't they at like a certain percentage capacity?
Half capacity. Yeah,
some of them are half capacity, I believe.
Yep. Which unfortunately will ruin our Toronto trip for AJ's bachelor party, but we will talk about that at another time.
I don't think any U.S. teams have. They haven't done any slashing of. They've all been full capacity.
I was at the Garden on Friday, seeing the Rangers and Golden Knights. It was a very good game. First of all, one of the best 3-on-3 over 5-minute overtimes I've ever seen.
Which is great because they've been so bad lately.
Yeah, and then I was at the Devils game on Sunday.
The Islanders overtime, it was god awful.
Yeah. Yes. And then I was at the Devils game on Sunday, and it looked like it was half capacity. It looked like we were in Canada. So it just Garden was rocking, and then the Rock is not rocking. So
it sounded like there was a good amount of Penguin fans based on. I didn't watch the game, but based on the highlights I saw, when the Penguins scored, it seemed like there was a pretty loud reaction.
Yeah.
At one point, I thought I heard a damn goal horn when they scored. I had to think about where the heck they were.
I don't remember hearing that, but I know you are just having a tough one right now. Then Jeff Merrick brought up maybe bringing back the taxi squad, so this way you have a couple guys that are obviously.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple guys that are obviously just off the side that you don't have to worry about them getting COVID. And they can come in and play because obviously AHL teams and ECHL teams are getting slaughtered as well, and those are the main sources. Oh, yeah. Kids trying to crawl up me.
I know the Wilkes-Barre
players.
Shorts guy still has a chance as an e-bug.
I mean, that would be fantastic. Could you imagine one of our buddies? Well, all right. So that was the end of our COVID talk because I want to get to some happy things. Although this is not exactly happy. Paul Maurice out for Winnipeg. Dave Lowry, whose son plays for the Golden Knights, the Winnipeg Jets. So, I wonder how daddy's going to treat his son in the lineup. We'll see how that happens. But Paul Maurice, obviously one of the top coaches in the league, someone I would love for the Rangers to have if they didn't already have Gerard Gallant. But, a very good coach, one of the active wins leaders. And he steps down from a team where he thought his voice wasn't exactly the right fit anymore. He didn't say he lost the locker room or that they missed his message, but it was more of, they're looking for, he's looking to get the team in a better spot, and then he thinks they can win without him. So pretty admirable. And, good for Paul Maurice, and I'm sure he'll find a job next season. I don't think that's any sort of question.
He'll be hired pretty
Instantly.
quickly in the offseason.
I don't think he won't get a job this season, but I think he will absolutely get a job next season.
Somebody will be fired towards the end of the season or at the end of the season, and he'll get hired. And also about your Gallant there, enjoy this season, Dean, with Gallant, because his first seasons are really amazing, and then after that it's garbage. So you enjoyed this season.
I don't think it's garbage, just not as good.
He goes down.
Yeah. I think what about Mike Yeo in Philadelphia is just interim, no?
Mike Yeo is interim, yes.
I'm pretty sure he's interim.
Potential spot there.
Work. No, do that first. I don't know how that'll work in terms of him, do they pull him, in there? I don't know if Paul Maurice is really good for that team. I'm trying to think of other coaches that could be out. He would have probably been a great fit in Vancouver. Instead, Bruce Boudreau is 6-0 and doing very well.
He's another one.
Vancouver could be back in the playoff hunt.
What was the chance that the fans were doing that he didn't care much for?
I didn't see it.
I got to look this up now. It was pretty funny, and he didn't like it. But it had to do with chance for Bruce.
Brucey. Pearls.
They were calling him a fatty.
Teddy bear.
No.
He is so round. He's the roundest coach I've ever seen in my life.
They were saying instead of whoop, there it is, they're saying Bruce, there it is, and he doesn't like it. Well, apparently now he likes it.
Have a sense of humor, Jesus. Come on.
No, apparently now he likes it. This is the articles I'm seeing now. It says he likes it.
I don't think that's that bad. Right? That seemed pretty...
Bruce, there it is.
It's clever.
If there ever was a Bruce, he looks like a Bruce.
He does look like a Bruce, yes.
I'm having difficulties here. All right, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm still mine. All right. Alex Tuck makes his Sabres debut. Coyotes with their arena eviction. We missed that from last week. I don't know if, Steve, you guys were kind of talking about that, but other cities...
Sam and I were talking about a couple things, one of which I'd like to revisit if it's not a talking point today.
Other cities are using the relocation efforts for the whole arena eviction for the Coyotes. Coyotes say it was a personnel issue. Obviously, they're having their own issues. The Board of Governors cap 82.5. They want to go high. It won't go higher until 24-25, but they do gain the $1 million. The Wild are screwed though. $16 million from buyouts. So that's just going to keep hurting them. They were hoping that they would obviously get higher. Olympics at the Board of Governors, the commission told them that be prepared to have players go. Sarah's ripping off.
They are not going.
But protocols are bad. So these are the protocols in China. If positive, you have to quarantine for 3 to 5 weeks in China. It can't be released until Chinese authorities say so. All is being reviewed by Chinese authorities. It's in the hands of the players. Basically, the January 10th deadline for whether NHL decides to send players or not. It complicates the schedule and penalties for if a date is missed. Obviously, with the shutdowns for these 11 teams as well as the cross-border travel, I think it's just a matter of time before Olympics is kind of screwed. I know I'm getting attacked.
It really doesn't. All indicators are showing that the players will not be participating.
They don't want to.
At least, I mean, the NHL and the NHLPA seem to be pretty much on the same board with the decision regarding the Olympics. It's kind of a wait and see thing now, but it's right. They have only a short amount of time to make this decision. I think it's only a couple weeks.
Yeah, January 10th.
So they would make their official. I don't know what's going to change from now until then as far as their China's protocol rules and COVID rules and Olympic rules.
No, I don't think that's going to change.
See it changing at all. I think
the players
for the entire Olympics.
I think the players are actually hoping that they postpone the Olympics for a year like they did last year. And I think that could actually be a logical destination, a logical.
I don't want anybody from Tampa even going. Even like
Stammer,
like health risk.
Stammer wants to go.
No. Health risks aside, like that alone, I don't want them to go. But the amount of hockey that this team has played in the last 2 years is a lot, and then you're going to throw this on top of it. I'd rather have them not go and be safe, healthy, safe, and not risk anything, getting hurt or getting sick, and being able to play this year in the playoffs, have a full. Not being overworked or overtired going into the playoffs.
I think you could tell that to every single player except for Steven Stamkos. I think that on that team,
wants to play big time. I know that.
He wants to play. Him, Ovechkin. There's guys that want to play in this tournament, and they think that's their best shot, or they haven't. Stamkos has never played.
I think it's their last shot. Some of these guys think it's their last opportunity.
Well, I mean, you could say that about Crosby, Ovechkin, Stammer. You could say that about those three.
Definitely. Crosby and Stamkos have 2 gold medals already, so it's not.
No, Stamkos has never won an Olympics.
Stamkos has been on the Canadian Olympic team both of those for both those gold medals, I believe.
No, I thought he said that.
There's no reason why there's literally no reason why he wouldn't be on either of them.
No, he didn't.
I'm gonna look it up. If that's the case.
Right now.
He didn't make it.
He
did not make it in 2006, and then I think in 2010 he was hurt. And I think that's
I guess he doesn't representing Canada. He only won the World Cup.
Yeah.
World Juniors.
Yeah, you got a silver in World 2009. Yeah.
That's the World Championship.
See? Told you. Yeah,
well,
he has not
I'll
played.
Be damned.
And Ovi obviously wants that gold too. So he's going to try to do everything he can to play in that.
I do think that there's players on the same page, but the problem is that I don't think they're going to be given a choice. Like, it's going to be you go or you don't go. Not the player makes a choice whether they want to go. It's the NHLPA and the NHL are the ones that are going to be the deciding factors there. And I'm assuming the NHLPA is going to take everybody's, these superstars' opinions into high consideration to make this decision. But I don't know. It just sounds like, Erik Karlsson was just flat out. He's like, if the rules are the way that they are now, by the time the Olympics come around, I'm absolutely not going. McDavid was, he kind of gave a vague answer about it, but these players, the vast majority of them have families. And if you take the risk, you could go and not test positive. But if you do, it's the 2 weeks of the Olympics plus 3 to 5 weeks quarantine. Not to mention you're missing games when the season restarts, but you're away from your family for 2 months or so.
Well, they said
because
3
you're
to 5 weeks if you
stranded in China. Yeah.
Yep.
Plus the 2 weeks of the Olympics.
Yeah. We didn't get to talk about it, but maybe Steve, maybe you did. But Trevor Zegras' circus goal to Sonny Milano versus Buffalo was ridiculous. He sets up for the Michigan, lobs the pass to Milano, which I thought was a high stick, but whatever.
I thought it was below.
Trevor Zegras,
it was below crossbar.
Yeah, I don't know.
No?
I don't know. I thought it was maybe a little high stick, but anyways, the kid is awesome. And I was thinking a little bit between guys like him, which I think guys like Zegras and Kirill Kaprizov are different players in terms of spectacle than guys like Conor McDavid or Sidney Crosby. And I say that in that these guys do things crazy that, I think Conor McDavid and Crosby can do, but they would rather just, blitzkrieg, like Crosby, like McDavid's goal against the Rangers, where he just goes through 5 players. Yeah,
it's all business for them.
Yeah. And
not that it's not for these other kids, but they're willing to take more risk.
They seem more like kids playing as opposed to Crosby. Like you said, business.
Yeah.
Crosby and McDavid are businessmen, and these two are kids playing hockey in the NHL, and they are doing crazy, cool things. They're like, wow,
you see, like
why doesn't Ovechkin?
Svechnikov with the Michigan, the two Michigans. Yeah, these younger guys. Yeah, these younger kids who the skill is there. Everybody in the league, even the fourth liners, can do what they did.
Oh yeah.
Everybody. They have the skill to do it. Would they try it in a game? Absolutely not. But these fourth liners. I mean, if you brought them into play like a beer league against like any of us, they would completely dominate. And not just the fourth liners, but guys in the AHL. Career AHL guys would smoke all of us. And they can do just about all the stick tricks and stuff. A lot of them at least that they can do. But I really like this because these crazy highlight reel goals are great for the game. It draws attention. That what do you call it? The Zegras goal, what was it, like only a few days later had already 50 million views on YouTube?
Yep. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Kids in the AHL were doing it. Yeah. Yep. Pretty cool. The Trouba hit on Chiara, that was from last week, and he had a couple of hits
that's
last
what
week.
Sam and I were talking about.
One was also against McKinnon. All right, so did you think it was a suspendable hit?
No, but this is as the rules state. No, I don't think it's a suspendable hit. Should it be in the future? I think probably, because I think that we are entering a realm where, granted, I love big hits, but when you're making a big hit, I want you to be looking the player directly in the eye when you're making this big hit, because otherwise you go to the NFL, it's hitting a defenseless receiver, right? And that brings me also to Brett Connolly. So Brett Connolly obviously felt just based by his body language after the hit, it seemed as if he felt immediate remorse after that hit. Joe Pavelski getting emotional talking about it. No, but there needs to be a moment now. Like, we're seeing like again, I said, Sam and I were talking about this. We're seeing all these head injuries and the effects of the head injuries and CTE and what it's doing to guys long term. And at some point, hits like that, where Trouba just destroys what's his name, Kyra from Chicago.
Chiara, and then he also did the same thing
with McKinnon.
Kara, yes, thank you. There comes a time when you as a player know that you're about to devastate a guy who does not see you coming. And you can blame the guy for having his head down all you want, but it's just not the play to make, because there is no other explanation besides you are trying to severely hurt this guy. And if they say like, no, my intention wasn't to hurt him, is complete BS, because if your intention wasn't to hurt him, you wouldn't hit him as hard as you could while he's not looking. And you see these guys, they're getting stretchered off the ice. Obviously, you have to see that your actions are causing these guys severe harm. And at some point, you can talk to your a defenseman. Trouba, for example, is a defenseman. You could take him off the puck so much easier by making another choice. Any other choice. Let up a little bit. You just launch yourself at him, and the guy's off in a stretcher. At some point, this needs to stop. And I think while that may qualify as a clean hit, I think you almost have to start suspending for hits like that.
So
because I think it's equivalent to the defenseless receiver. That's what I think.
Yeah. No. I see the Trouba hit on Kyra, I think, is
Kara.
He wasn't looking all this. Sorry, Kara, whatever. He was not looking. That's a tough play. The McKinnon one, McKinnon goes through one player, just dekes the crap out of him, and then he puts his head down to corral the puck after doing that, and then Trouba hits him. So, that's where there's some shade, right? If a player's looking back, I'm looking at Steve, and all of a sudden I turn around, all of a sudden I get hit, then that's a different story, I think. But the bang into plays where a guy looks down real fast to collect the puck, and then you whack him, I think that's where you're going to get into some gray areas. That's going to be tough for someone to divvy out a punishment, when you really don't know that was what they were trying to do. He was going to attack him
intention
right
aside, I'm sure there's safeties, cornerbacks, whoever, that their intention isn't to decapitate a player, but it inevitably happens because they just launch themselves at it, because that's what they're taught. They're taught to tackle this way. So they launch themselves at this guy, and little they know this guy is completely defenseless, and you're sending the guy to the hospital or to concussion protocol or whatever else. And at some point, you got to take that out of the game. because you can't. Some of these guys, careers are cut short from severe concussions, and concussion symptoms are life altering. It's not just like, oh, I can't play because my head hurts or something. Like they can't go outside in the sunlight. Noises set things off, vibrations, motion, vertigo. It's just there's so much that comes with these. And I think we have to start protecting the players better. I mean, it's obvious that, we're always talking about player safety and that it's been a joke, basically punishing guys who are intentionally injuring players. But in order to make sure that these guys can have, long careers, you're going to have to start doing something about hits like that because, and like I said, I like hits, but if you're looking the guy in the eye and you try to hit him like that, I'm totally cool with it. You see big hits, guys see each other coming, you see big hits, it's fun, but when if a guy doesn't, it's a sucker punch. I think it's exactly the same as a sucker punch. And sucker punches are some of the most classless things you can do, and I don't think it's much different.
It also doesn't help that guys are getting bigger and faster and stronger. And
exactly.
These hits were not around, 20 years ago because the guys age slower and they would just, more stick checks. But yeah,
and you don't have to hit the player in the head for it to be equally as devastating, as you saw with Kara, when he hit the ice and his head just smashed on the ice because of the whiplash of the hit was so severe that he couldn't protect himself, and feel sorry.
Who did what's his face hit? Brett Connolly on Dallas. It was on Dallas, right?
Kiro, yeah, on Dallas. Tanner Kiro or something like that.
Tanner Kiro, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That hit was bad.
Yeah, because he was looking back at the defenseman the entire time.
But you could see even going out a suspension for this, I don't think is going to teach these players not to do stuff like that.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think Connolly is that. I don't think Connolly is that type of player. So I don't think. I think that. I think that the suspension for him. Like yes, he can. But I don't think he's never had anything like this. But I think a suspension like this will, for a player like him, I think it'll make him play a little more cautious because it was a stupid play, and I mean there was no chance of Caro even playing that puck. The puck was like waist high, wrapping around the boards, and it even passed him for a second or so, and then he just devastates this guy as if he was like receiving a tape-to-tape pass or something, and he was going to hit him as soon as he received the pass. But there was no chance he's catching that puck, and you could tell. Like I said, as far as my opinion is that when you looked at him, which it seemed like why Dallas didn't really even react to him, is that he felt immediately sorry afterwards. Like immediately. Yeah. So I think a player like Connolly will learn, but other guys who we've talked about too often on this podcast,
these other dopes don't get it.
They just, it's a 3-game suspension here, or 4-game suspension there, or a 2-game suspension again, and it's just like they don't care. Those types of things that don't matter. Obviously, they're not learning, so they need to get the friggin' book thrown at them, and the book obviously needs to be completely rewritten. But I think I don't know. I think it's something, and I think Sam agreed with me that we need to remove from the game to protect the players because player safety is paramount at this moment as we're learning about these brain injuries more and more.
Yeah,
I think they need to do something where they maybe they suspend them for however many games and then make, but maybe another suspension, or just make that initial suspension only playoff games. Like they can't play in a certain amount of playoff games. Like when those games really matter. The guy gets suspended 4 or 5 games a quarter away from the season.
And if they don't make the playoffs, though? If it's a garbage team that's never in the playoffs?
Then it's got to be, I don't know. They got to figure something out. Because these minimal game suspensions, what does that do? It does nothing.
Yeah, they lose a little bit of money, but a drop in the bucket comparatively. Or a fine, and the fines are a joke, so.
Yeah, the fines are never enough. I don't know.
All right, we'll go to something else. Mike Sullivan for Jack Adams. I am putting my hat in the ring for that one. He's been awesome.
Can he be nominated at least, for God's sakes? He's not even
nominated. Can
Cooper
be nominated, for Christ's sake?
Wasn't he? He was not. Didn't he win a Jack Adams?
I think he was only nominated once. When did he win? I don't think he won one. I think he was nominated. I don't think he won.
I think you lost your mind.
Stat boy.
Award winners. Let's see here. Rob Brindamore 2021. You had Bruce Cassidy 2020, Trotz 2019, Gallant 2018, Torts 2017, Trotz 2016, Hartley 15, 14 Waugh, 13 McLean. Yeah, so he didn't hit 12 Hitchcock, 11.
And how many of those was he nominated? I think he was only nominated one of those years. I think it was 2020 he was nominated, and that was it.
Yeah, I'd have to.
He gets no respect.
So,
it is funny how the Jack Adams just goes to the coach who is able to turn a team around the most.
And he gets fired.
So whoever went from a non-playoff team to a playoff team, Jack Adams. It won't go to the guy who won. I don't. How many times has a coach who coached the President Trophy winning team won the Jack Adams? Also.
Well, I mean, I would have thought that Scotty Bowman would have a bunch of those, right? I have to look at that, but yeah, last year was right. Rob Brindamore, you had Dean Evison.
He was a finalist twice. Schwim. He was a finalist in 13-14 and 18-19.
Yeah, I see him 18-19.
18-19. That was their President Cup year, I think, right? When they got swept.
Yeah. All right. Conor McDavid, the new scoring leader. He has in 82 games 151 points. The last 82 games, 151 points. I mean, that's pretty nasty.
And yet the team is still garbage.
Asterisk. No, it's my buddy Stevie guy.
That North Division.
Before, obviously, this is a pretty good fact. Leon Draisaitl became the first Oilers player not named Wayne Gretzky, and really the only other Oiler not named Gretzky, to have 40 points prior to the 20-game mark. So I was looking at the logs for Gretzky's 20-game mark, and he did it 7 straight seasons with the Oilers from 81 to 88. So Draisaitl, right, had it was 40 points in 19 games. Gretzky had 57 points in 19 games, 54 points in 19 games, 50 points in 19 games, 45 in 19, 45 in 19, 45 in 19, and 44 in 19. I mean, the guy's he's ridiculous.
What happened? He was 50, 50, and then he went down to the 40s? He sucks.
Yeah, 50, 50, 50, and then 40s. Yeah. What a real ham.
What a real loser.
You couldn't do 50 points in under 20 games for 7 straight seasons. The guy sucks.
He couldn't even stay on one team.
I know.
What a loser.
This was a very good quote that I saw from Jake Allen.
Oh boy. There we go.
They'd already have. Okay. Oh damn it! Did I?
Thought he froze?
Yeah, you're freezing. I thought you were gone.
I think if someone figured that out already, they'd have a Nobel Prize. This was Jake Allen about Ovechkin's shot and why he's such a successful scorer. I mean, I'm pretty sure every single NHL fan knows exactly what happens. He sits at one place and just rips slappers.
So why would you
every goalie knows. Every goalie knows. Every defenseman knows.
Yeah. So
he just shoots through goalies.
They should just play a 4-on-3 and put someone right on him and not even allow him to do that.
Well, I mean, there's other guys who can score, so it kind of gives him more of an advantage. But you'd prevent him from scoring, yes. But but he just he just tie for most power play goals of all time, right? He just tied Andrew Chuck.
With who? Yeah, Davey.
Yep.
Is he tied?
So you see where he's. I think he tied him, unless he scored another one recently. I saw his tying one, which was later last week. So I don't know if he played and beat it. I'm not sure.
All right, we're going to quickly go through this and then head out. Top scorers, Draisaitl, McDavid tied at 49 through 29 games each. Ovechkin, 47 at 31 games. You have Kadri still up there, 38 points in 24 games. He's been awesome for the Colorado Avalanche. Stammer, 34 points, 13 goals, 28 games played. Austin Matthews, 27 in 33 and 27.
Austin Matthews, Faja.
Yeah, Faja.
You got Faja.
Yeah. you got Panarin in there, 33 points in 29 games. He's had a very quietly good season. Goals leaders, Draisaitl, 23, Ovi, 22, Austin Matthews, 20, and then Chris Kreider, number 4 at 18.
Did you know that the Rangers are actually one of the worst teams at 5-on-5?
Yeah, they haven't had a very good season. Yep.
They're like 27th at 5-on-5.
Yeah, no, I know one of the big culprits is
and they're doing so well.
Not been scoring. Well, that's because their goalies have been awesome and their defensemen. Yeah.
And Sammy plays. That was a good one, right?
Yeah.
Mcdavid just having an awesome season with St. Louis.
I hate you. I hate you.
That is one of the worst trades.
McDavid, 32 assists. For defensemen, still my boy Adam Fox, 26 points in 30 games. He leads all defensemen. Quinn Hughes 2, Victor Hedman 3. Goaltenders, have had very good years. Why can't I get this stupid? I hate this stupid thing. I tell you, NHL.com stats suck. I'd rather go to ESPN, even though they don't have this. They have like the actual stats incorrect. Freddie Anderson and Freddie Anderson and Vasi are tied with wins. Save percentage. You got Anderson at 930. This is I hate this stupid thing. Igor is actually the leader in goals against at 937. Jack Campbell's number 2.
Save percentage.
And then save percentage. Sorry. Goals against is Tristan Jarry, 193. Esteban, your guy's doing well.
Look at that, Yari.
Tristan
soft
Jarry. It is. All right. Quickly, Metro, Carolina first, 43 points, 21 games. Washington and Rangers second and third, respectively. Rangers have 2 games to play on Carolina. 1 game to play on Carolina and 2 games to play on Washington. Pittsburgh sits at 4. Islanders are last at with 22 points in the Metro. Atlantic, you have Tampa, Toronto, then Florida, 42 points. There's 8 teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 East teams have the best records. Have the best record in of all hockey. There's 6 East teams, and then finally a West team comes.
Is Carolina number 1 overall in the league right now?
Carolina's 1 overall. Oh no, well them and Washington are technically tied at 43 points each, but Carolina has 2 games to play. Like I said, Tampa, Toronto, and Florida in that regard, and then Montreal is dead last at 17 points. In the West, Minnesota 40, Nashville and St. Louis 39, and then Colorado 36. I did not think Nashville would be this good. They've played very well. They're getting offense. Good. They are plus 10 overall in differential, while the other teams are all plus 20. So that is going to be tough. Roman Yossi's having a great year, and so is guys like Duchesne and Ryan Johansson.
Mr. Forsberg also.
Yep. Last in the division, Arizona with 14 points. They're dead last in the league. In the Pacific, Vegas at 40, Anaheim at 40, Calgary at 36, Edmonton at 36, and then you have Seattle dead last. Vancouver, like I said, their last 10 is 8-2. They're surging, and they could make the playoffs still. They're only 3 points. They're 6 points behind Edmonton at 4, and they have a favorable schedule coming up, especially against those Pacific teams. So we'll see what happens with that.
Steven. Stanley Cup prediction from years past will finally come true.
Could you imagine them winning this year after getting Bruce Boudreau as their wow? That would be fantastic. I got some stuff we'll save for next week, but I will do some trivia and then we'll head out. There's also voting coming up. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the biggest storyline from 2021. I got some good stuff on Connor Bedard. I'm pretty sure Steven has actually, let's do it right now. I think Steven might have a higher flex on his stick than 2023 NHL number 1 prospect Connor Bedard. What flex do you think he uses?
70.
Yeah, you might want to go lower.
Lower? Holy crap.
He uses a 65 flex.
65.
Jesus.
Okay. it's like a might stick. I mean,
How
that's
tall
funny.
is
Actually, a good question, but
I think Phil Kessel actually uses something similar.
Connor Bedard's 5'10".
There you go.
All right. Yeah, Phil Kessel uses crazy flex too. I don't know how low it is, if it's comparable, but it's the reason why he absolutely cannot take one-timers. Because he was always set up for Pittsburgh. He was set up on those the left boards to take that righty one-timer, but he couldn't take a one-timer.
Phil Kessel stick flex. The most well-known version of this is Phil Kessel was truly unique shot and has been known to use a 65 flex.
Yeah, there you go.
8 players that used unusually low flex sticks. All right, we'll just do this instead of trivia to end the show.
All right.
Taylor Hall uses 70 flex. Max Pacioretty uses a 70 flex.
Some things. And he's been lighting it up lately.
I know. Torrey Krug also 70.
That's strange for a defense.
Yeah, Sonny Milano also 70. Phil Kessel 65. Tyler Johnson, Shrim's boy, 65.
That explains a lot.
Brendan Gallagher 65. And oh my God, Johnny Ham and Cheese, Johnny Hockey, Johnny Gaudreau uses a 55 flex.
Jonathan Hockey. Wow. 55.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Crap.
Wow.
There's guys that just don't really take slap shots. Basically all of them. Just the quick snap.
Oh,
because it creates a whip. That snapshot.
Yeah.
Because it bends so much. It basically a whip.
A whip.
Wow, that's pretty. What's the?
I tried to use junior flex before, and it didn't work for me. Couldn't figure that
out. Highest stick flex in the NHL. Wow, I mean, Ovechkin, you look at his shot, and it's like broken in half. Who is the highest flex stick in NHL? I mean, Chara is one of the names comes up. He typically uses 155 flex.
So I'm saying guys with the hardest slap shots have the highest flex. A lesson to learn, kiddies.
155, 160. Yeah, if you have a weak shot, go with lower flex.
Shot, and I didn't realize that they did friggin' Shea Theodore on Vegas.
Yep.
I was watching that game the other night, him and the Islander game. He scored a goal. It was an absolute bomb from the friggin' point. I think they clocked it too. It was like, no, I thought they won in a shootout because I thought their overtime was hot garbage.
Oh,
I don't know.
It was so bad. It was them skating into the zone, nothing happening, and then skating back out of the zone and regrouping the entire time. It was so bad.
That's like Trotz's. The Islanders have been doing that since this 3-on-3 started. Well, with Trotz at least, because they literally just they skate around and bore you to death and tire you out. They don't allow you to change. It's just and then they try to strike at some point. But yeah,
Matthews uses
they've
80.
always
That's
been
actually kind of surprising.
Dreadfully boring.
Shea Weber, Dustin Byfuglien, and Ovechkin all use 122.
What about Stammer?
Not bad. It does not say
similar.
Stammer.
I'm sure.
He's got to be.
But all right, boys, how'd you do? How's your beers?
I give mine a 4. Speaking of, a noticeable difference drinking out of the IPA glass versus the can.
Yeah.
Science.
Shrimp?
It's science. I'm going to go 3.75. Pretty good IPA.
Not bad. My Petra, I'll do a 3.25. I didn't think it was very tasteful, but I appreciate the bottle and the
nice.
It's
all about the gesture.
10% lager, though. It's crazy.
Yeah. Shrimp, take her home.
Take her home.
Well, boys, I'll take her home. It's the holidays, so I want to wish you and your families a very happy holiday, and we'll see you after the holiday.
By the way,
we'll see you after Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Maybe.
Oh my God!
Power Hour Part 2 next
please
week.
pray for me over the Christmas break if we're doing the Power Hour.
If you want to enjoy again, tune in.
Tune in.